In the heart of Kyoto, under a canopy of cherry blossoms that danced in the cold morning rain, I found myself standing before the grand gates of the Ryoanji Temple. The silence was deafening, broken only by the distant tolling of temple bells and my own labored breath. I had come here seeking tranquility, a respite from the chaos that had consumed me, but instead, I felt an overwhelming sense of betrayal. My journey to Japan began as an escape, a chance to immerse myself in a culture foreign yet intriguing. The land of the rising sun was like a balm to my frayed nerves, with its Zen gardens and ancient temples whispering tales of peace and wisdom. But this tranquility had been shattered by a betrayal that left me cold and angry. The meditation hall echoed with the sound of my heart pounding in my chest as I sat cross-legged on the tatami mat. The room was dimly lit, the only light coming from a single candle flickering on the altar. The scent of incense filled the air, mingling with the damp earthy smell of the temple. I closed my eyes and tried to focus, but my mind was a whirlwind of thoughts. Images of the betrayal flooded my consciousness, each one sharper and more painful than the last. My ego raged within me, demanding vengeance, seeking retribution. But as I sat there, trapped in this maelstrom of anger and confusion, I realized that I had lost something precious. I opened my eyes and looked around the room, at the faces of the other meditators, their serene expressions a stark contrast to the turmoil within me. The silence seemed to close in around me, suffocating me with its weight. I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes, and I knew that if I didn't find a way to calm down, I would break. I stood up and walked out of the meditation hall, my shoes echoing on the cold stone floor as I made my way back to my room. The rain had stopped, but the air was still heavy with the scent of incense and damp earth. I sat on the edge of my bed, my head in my hands, and cried. It was then that I heard a voice, soft and soothing, yet powerful enough to pierce through the haze of my tears. The voice belonged to the Zen master who had invited me to his temple, and as he spoke, I felt a strange sense of calm wash over me. You cannot control the actions of others, he said, his words like a balm for my wounded soul. But you can control how you react to them. I looked up at him, tears streaming down my face, and asked, but what about justice? What about vengeance? He smiled gently and replied, vengeance is the poison that destroys those who drink it. It is a cycle of suffering that never ends. But forgiveness, true forgiveness, is the key to freedom. I sat there for hours, listening to his words, trying to wrap my mind around this concept of forgiveness. It was not easy, but as the night wore on and the rain began to fall again, I felt a shift within me. The anger and confusion that had consumed me for weeks began to recede, replaced by a sense of clarity I had never known before. The next morning, I returned to the meditation hall, my heart lighter than it had been in weeks. I sat down cross-legged on the tatami mat, and as I closed my eyes, I felt a strange peace wash over me. The betrayal still hurt, but I knew that I could no longer let it control me. The days that followed were some of the most difficult of my life, but I found solace in the Zen teachings of the Master. He taught me about mindfulness, compassion, and acceptance, lessons that would stay with me long after I left Japan. And so, as I stood before the grand gates of the Ryoanji Temple on that cold morning, I realized that I had found something far more precious than vengeance. I had found peace. The title of this story is Betrayal and Forgiveness, the Zen Lesson of Peace. It is a reminder that we cannot control the actions of others, but we can choose how we respond to them. It is a testament to the power of forgiveness, and the freedom it brings. And it is a story that I hope will inspire others to find their own path to peace.